Hello, 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 hello. How are you? Hi, Jenny. Hi, Robin. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Good evening to everybody. This is Shirley at Shirley's Thread Work. Welcome to my live stream, my channel. Um, Hello to everybody out there in YouTube land and Facebook land. Thank you for stopping by. I know that there will be more people watching and coming in. You are invited to come in. Please, if you've not sat in on the chat before, I do invite you to do so. The more the merrier. We have fun. We talk about everything under the sun. So join us. So, hi, Jenny and Robin and Becky. How are you guys doing tonight? Hope all is well. Everything is pretty good here. Hi, Kingsbury Craft. Hi, Val. How are you doing? Everybody's popping in. Just come on in, come on in, come on in. There's room for everybody. Yes, indeedy. Uh, ooh, Can you guys believe it is September? Labor Day has passed. Oh my goodness, tomorrow is Christmas. I'm telling you. It's going this year has literally flown. And I know we say this every year. Every year it's like, oh my goodness, the year has passed by so quickly. The year has passed by so quickly. But I'm telling you, for some reason, it just seems like this year in particular has really, excuse me, gone by fast, really, really fast. I don't know what it is, but I'm just amazed at the fact that it is what, 3 months before Christmas, 4 months, September, October, November, December. Sorry about that, getting strangled. Yes, just 4 months before Christmas. That's hard to believe, I'm telling you. Hi, Betty. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Oh boy, but I tell you, it's going to be Christmas and New Year's and all of that before we know it. Halloween is this month. Just in case you didn't think about it, Halloween is this month, and then we got Thanksgiving, and no, not this month. What is it? September. Halloween is next month. I'm pushing it on. I'm pushing it on. No, Halloween is next month, so we got a month, a little better than a month to prepare for Halloween. So if you guys haven't started doing any of your Halloween stuff, um, shopping, gift making, gift ideas, all of that kind of stuff, well, you need to get on it because I tell you, it's going to be here in a minute. It's time to start making those things, and we'll probably talk about it within the next live or so. Talk about Christmas stuff, and Robin, you said don't mention that C word. I know, but it's time. It's time to get started on it. And it's just time to get started on it because it's right around the corner. And if you're like me, you have 1,020 different projects that you want to do and want to have done in time for gift giving and decoration and selling and all of that kind of stuff. And if you haven't gotten started on it, I'm telling you, you need to go ahead and get started on it because if you're not, you're going to be inundated with so much and you're going to be so far behind. Um, it's been practically a year, actually, a year Sunday, not Sunday. What is it? I'm looking at the wrong calendar. So today is the third, a year on I'm still thinking it's October. Why am I thinking it's October? I don't know why I got October in my head. It's September. I'm a whole month ahead of myself. But anyway, I was about to say it's been a year since we did our first sew along for Christmas, but no, that was in October. That was the 11th of October. So it's been 11 months. So anyway, it still has been um, very quickly. It has occurred very quickly. So like I said, time really, really flies. So I had the hardest time this week trying to come up with a topic. I just had a brain fart. I could not think of anything that I thought you guys would be interested in, anything that I thought that I would be um, able to discuss. And so I reached out to some people and I did get a few suggestions. So that is why we're going to be talking about appliques tonight, because that was one of the recommendations or suggestions that was given to me. And I said, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's something I have talked about appliques before. And I think I told the story about my fear of doing an applique. When I very first started embroidering, that was the one thing that I really did feel like was a big challenge to me. And the main reason why I felt that way is because the very first applique design I ever bought didn't have any directions. It didn't have the information about the positioning line, stitch, and the tack down stitch and all of that. I had nothing. I just had a design. Got it off of Etsy, had nothing to go with it, and I was totally lost. I did not know what to do. I didn't know anything. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And it just kind of gave me this phobia of appliques because I felt like I couldn't do it because I didn't understand it. And so it took me a long time to really well, I won't say a long time, but it took a minute before I got past that. And what I actually ended up doing was taking a class with Eve from the Baby Booty. She used to do these classes in embroidery. I'm pretty sure she does rhinestone classes now, but she did embroidery classes. And you sign up for it, pay a little fee, and she would do this class. And I took this how to do applique class. And that is exactly what kind of gave me the confidence to do it. And then I tackled one of the most complicated project as my first project, and I did one of those sneaker bags from Disorderly Thread, and just royally messed up the first one. And not so much the applique part, but just getting it all uh, stitched out correctly with the lining and all of that kind of stuff. But that's what gave me my helped me to overcome my fear of appliques. And from that point on, I've been doing them, and I really like doing appliques. So, it just goes to tell you, if you are taught how to do something, or you follow a mentor or something on YouTube or something like that, because they have tons of tutorials, as we know, then you can overcome a lot of the fears and challenges that you feel when it comes down to doing any of the crafts that we all do. And specifically for me, embroidery. So who has hopped in since I started talking? Jenny and Taisha. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Well, I spoke to you, Jenny, already. Jenny, Robin, Becky, Kingsburg Craft, Val, Betty, Taisha. Okay. All right. I got everybody. So if you didn't know by now, we're going to be talking about appliques. And I wanted to do I got a little slide presentation. And on the presentation, it's not really a presentation, it's just some pictures of some different types of appliques. Because when I was doing my research, I already knew that there were several different appliques, types of appliques or applique techniques. But in the course of my research, I ran across some that I had never heard of before. And I think it's mainly the names of them, but some of them are different techniques. And I was like, oh, wow, it is a lot of different kinds of appliques out here. So, as usual, I spoke to the AI and I asked about, what are some of the different types of appliques out there. And so the AI listed 6 common appliques, which I'm pretty sure that you guys are familiar with. And if you're not, well, then we'll just talk briefly about it. The first one is called smooth edge applique. And this method involves stitching thread over the raw edges of the applique shapes to give them a tight and smooth finish, which normally is the satin stitch. And we're all familiar with that. And those, to be honest about it, are my favorite appliques. I just love the look of a satin stitch applique. And if you guys hadn't figured it out yet, I just hop right on into the topic tonight, which is exploring different types of appliques, because I looked at the clock and I said, okay, it's time to go. It's time to get started on it. The next one that they talked about is raw edge applique. And this technique leaves the edges of the applique fabric raw, creating a more rustic and textured look. I have not done it. I've seen it. It's not my, well, I take that back. I have done it. I have done it. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. Third is reverse applique. In this method, the applique fabric is placed underneath the base fabric and the design is cut out from the top fabric to reveal the applique fabric beneath. And that is called a reverse applique. Number 4, decorative stitch applique. This type uses stitches such as blanket or zigzag stitches around the edges of the applique for added embellishment. Now, keep in mind that even though they have listed these appliques as with different names, you can utilize these techniques together pretty much. Like you can have a decorative stitch with a reverse applique or a raw edge or something like that. And fifth, which was kind of confusing to me because all of my appliques are multi-needle hoop applique. Because uh, maybe I have done an applique on my single needle machine, but it's been a long time ago because, like you guys know, I do most of everything on my multi-needle machine. But they listed multi-needle hoop applique, and this technique involves using a multi-needle embroidery machine to create intricate and multicolored applique designs. And I get that because you can do it on a single needle as well, but you're constantly changing your thread. Whereas with the multi-needle, you already have it programmed to move on to the next applique part with a different color thread. And then number 6, they have felt applique. And the felt is used as the applique fabric, which is easy to work with and doesn't fray, making it ideal for beginners. So these are just a few types of appliques that they mentioned. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I found online on what these appliques look like, and then I'll come back and talk about a few more things about applique. And maybe not. I'll go ahead and mention these as well. It's 10 more that are considered advanced technique appliques. And 3D applique. Add dimensions to your design by incorporating 3D elements like fabric flowers, puff shapes, or layered pieces. And again, keep in mind, you can do these things using some of the other techniques that I just mentioned. Mixed media applique. This combines different materials such as fabric, beads, sequences, and even paint to create unique and textured designs. Now, I've seen both one and two, and I love how it looks. Never have done the mixed media applique before. Number three, shadow applique, which I thought was interesting. And what that is, you use sheer fabric like organza or tulle over your applique pieces to create a subtle, shadowy effect. Number four, reverse applique with cut work. Combine reverse applique, which we talked about, with cut work techniques to create intricate and lace-like designs. Now, I've done that. I have a video on cut work applique. Trapunto applique. Thought that was interesting. Add a quilted raised effect to your applique by incorporating trapunto techniques, which involve stuffing certain areas with batting. So that could be considered 3D emboss, if you will. Who knows? We don't want to go down that road. But that was a question that came up when that 3D embossing issue came up. But they do have what they call Tramputo applique. And I did mention in the hoop applique already. Fusible web applique. Use fusible webbing to adhere your applique pieces before stitching, allowing for more intricate and detailed designs. Now, I tried to find examples of all of these, which I wasn't able to find examples of all of them. I did find tutorials where they were discussing how to do lots of these different types of techniques. So if any of these stand out to you, there's definitely tutorials out there. Free motion applique. Use free motion stitching to outline and embellish your applique pieces, giving them a more artistic and hand-drawn look. Number 9, layered applique. Create depth and interest by layering multiple applique pieces on top of each other. And number 10, which is a perfect time of the year coming up, is glow in the dark applique. Use glow in the dark threads or fabric to add a fun and unexpected twist to your designs. So these are some of the ones that they consider to be more unique and advanced, uh, which gives the traditional techniques a little creative twist. So again, like I said, I tried to find pictures of a lot of these techniques. Um, wasn't able to find pictures on everything, but I was able to find several videos on just about every one of these because I Googled every one of them and tutorials did pop up. Did not look at the tutorials, didn't have time for that, but they are out there and available. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and show you the pictures so you'll have an idea of what these types of apples, at least some of them, look like. So the world of me exploring the world of machine embroidery applique. Um, so let me go. Now this is considered your smooth edge applique. Now I know that this is kind of small, and depending upon what it is that you're looking at this live, what medium you're looking at it on, you may not be able to see these stitches very clearly, but this is your typical satin stitch applique, and it is considered smooth edge. And this is one of the most popular applique technique that most people think about when they're going to do an applique. And it, in all honesty, is pretty much my favorite, most I'm pretty sure it's because the one that I have used 99% of the time. So I love doing the smooth edge or the satin stitch applique. Now this one I know it is very hard to see because it's hard for me to see, but this is one of the decorative stitches, and if I'm not mistaken, this particular one is a um, zigzag stitch. And if you look at it on your TV or something bigger, you'll be able to see it. And with this being a zigzag stitch, it also combines a raw edge. So, like I said, you do have the ability to combine techniques. So that is just an example of a decorative stitch. And this one is your beam stitch, I believe it is, or top stitch. Applique decorative stitch. So these are just some examples of, you know, Google went online, looked at some of the different types of decorative stitches. So again, if you get a chance to look at this on a larger screen, because that's as big as I can make it, unfortunately. But hopefully you'll be able to see that. And if not, you can just Google it and you can see what they look like. And I'm pretty sure that most of us have seen them anyway, the various decorative stitches. Now, the one thing I want to point out is that depending upon what type of machine that you use and what the capabilities are, you could use tons of decorative stitches for your applique based upon what your machine is allowed to do. So uh, think about that just for some decorative uniqueness of your project. I was doing some stitching last night, making a reading pillow, and I just got creative and decided to use some of my decorative stitches that I have available on my SE 1900 just for the fun of it. I said, let me, I'm sewing, and these stitches are sitting up here staring me in my face. Let me use some of them. So that's what I did, and it was fun. Instead of just having just a straight stitch, just use one of your decorative stitches for whatever it is that you're doing, and you certainly can do that with your appliques. Now this is a raw edge applique. Now, if you look at especially the unicorn, and those of you that can get um, a big view of it, you can see the raw edge pretty good. And that's what they call a raw edge. Now, this one on the quilt, I wasn't able to see that one as clearly as I was with the one that is the unicorn. But the raw edge is when you don't have, the edge is raw, exactly what it says. You're not covering up with the satin stitch. The edge is raw, and you can make it raw with bean stitch, zigzag stitch, um, any kind of decorative stitch, and the edge remains raw. And that's pretty cool. And I've done that before. Now, this is an example of a reverse um, applique. And the checkered part is on the bottom. And then they stitch this, I believe, with a double stitch. It looks like a double run stitch. And then they cut it out. And so the bottom checkered fabric is showing through. And that's the reverse applique. Now, I did that once, and I believe I did it when I was doing the class. I've seen it in person. And like I said, I think I did it once, but that's what a reverse applique looks like. And it's not really hard to do, and it's something that's different. And you might want to try that. And you can also do those, of course, with decorative stitches. So again, you're combining techniques. So we're getting away from the really just plain old satin stitch applique. Now, felt applique. This particular picture here shows up really well as being felt. If you can see the live picture or the large picture, you can tell that it's felt material. The one that's at the top, you can tell that's felt as well, but it has definitely been enhanced with all of the other decorative stitches that have been added to it. And it makes it a beautiful, beautiful motif. Um, can you imagine that being on a quilt or, put in a frame or whatever? But I wanted to point out the one at the bottom. And the reason why I put it at the bottom and not made a big one, which I probably should have, is that this one is hand, looks like a hand felt applique. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, I would love to be able to do that. I'm I don't know how to do hand embroidery. Don't know if I will ever learn how to do hand embroidery, but I do know that you can run across some extremely beautiful hand embroidery that makes beautiful addition to some of your finished garment. But you don't necessarily have to do it by hand, especially if you're using some felt, because you can create beautiful designs and add them to your project. You can do freestanding lace. You can make freestanding lace flowers, butterflies, all kinds of different mediums, all little birds, everything, and felt as well, and then stitch it onto your quilt or a towel or even a garment and just enhance it, a hanging, wall hanging or something. I have seen them in quilt shops and I just stand there and just look at them in awe because they are just absolutely beautiful and wondering to myself, who did it and how long did it take you to do it? And how did you learn how to do such beautiful work? So that um, the hand enhancement using felt or just the felt alone can make some very beautiful appliques. So I'm going to try to learn how to do some of that and try it because I just love the way that looks. That is one of my favorite types of appliques as far as embellishment and enhancement is concerned. Now, this is also interesting. These are called 3D appliques. Now, the lion is um, a quilt, I believe, the picture that I took. And all of the pieces have been added, and they're all um, applique. And it gives that 3D dimension. And I mean, it is gorgeous. And the same with the owl, which is a little bit different. Now, the technique with the owl is I think they're using like a bean stitch or a zigzag stitch to add to the design. And that could be considered also layered. So that is your layered look as well as your 3D effect applique. So can you see how you can combine all of these different techniques and make some very unique and beautiful appliques. So it takes you out of that realm of just the plain. Well, I don't want to call it plain because it's beautiful anyway, but the one where we just use satin stitches. The satin stitches or the smooth stitches make beautiful creations as well. But when you add some of these different techniques, when you broaden your horizon, as I like to say, and try some of these different techniques, you definitely can come up with some very interesting and unique looks for your designs. So, they have books and of course they have tutorials, as I mentioned, online to show you how to do some of these techniques, and they're all considered to be applique. So I had fun looking today at all of the different appliques that are out there, And this one, which I never thought about it as being an applique, but it's your puffy applique. So your puff. Um, this is called a puffy applique. And we all have pretty much done something similar to that. It can also be considered trampunto, I'm pretty sure, because it looks like it could be done with batting just as much as with puff foam. So, but it is considered the puffy applique. And of course, as you can see, I took these pictures offline. So, giving credit to the people, don't want to have any copyright issues, not my designs at all. But you can see that this particular design you can get in a BX font, which is for embroidery, which I thought was brilliant. I thought it was pretty interesting because I do like how puffy it is, and it just has a different look. And it's 3D puff foam is required according to this particular design. But I think you probably could do that with batting as well and make it a trampunto applique. And so those are the pictures that I was able to find with the different appliques out there. So I'm gonna take that off. And I was just fascinated with what I found. I said, oh my goodness, these are just absolutely gorgeous. And you never stop and think about it, at least I didn't, especially before today, that all of these different techniques that I just showed you are considered appliques. I've seen a lot of this work uh, in various places at quilt shops and places like that, but I also have not taken the time to learn how to do it or venture out to do it, which means it's something that I think that I would be interested in learning. I don't know about you guys. Put in a comment. What do you think about these different techniques of applique? Have you heard of them before? Have you tried them before? Are you interested in trying them? Let me know. Give me some feedback here and let me know what do you think. And I noticed that some more people have come in, so I might run through these pictures again because I don't want anybody to miss them. And so let me say hi to Miss Mac. How you doing? Hi, Pearl. Danielle, how you doing? I think I saw, who else did I see pop in? Joyce, how you doing? And Deborah. Yeah, I think that's all that has popped in that I have yet to speak to. And again, like I said, I started. We all run a little late. Sometimes I chit chat a little longer, but I wanted to go ahead and hop into the little slideshow that I had, and I will show it again in a few minutes when I finish talking a little bit about the other information that I found as far as appliques and stuff are concerned. But what I wanted to show for those of you that came in a little late is the different types of appliques out there. We're pretty familiar with the standard appliques that most of us do routinely, but doing my research, I found out that there are numerous different types of appliques out there, and it would be fun to try. And Rob, you say you've heard of them and have done all but the puppy, but not on your embroidery machine. You have done reverse applique by hand. Okay, okay. I had not heard of all of them. And Miss Max said you'll watch the rerun, but you love the 4D applique or the 3D or whatever it is, 3D applique. And but anyway, now the question came up about, well, not the question. As I was looking at it, I wanted to know, how do you go about making sure that you are able to elevate your applique skills? to so in order to be able to do some of these appliques and do them well. And of course, you always have to keep in mind the same thing that we talk about all the time is to choose quality designs, invest in high quality applique designs that include placement lines, which goes back to the statement that I made when I first started talking about what kind of handicapped me in the very beginning of my embroidery experience was that I happened to buy, and I still had that design. And I never stitched it out. Now that I know how to do it, I'm gonna do that. But I bought this design off of Etsy, and it had no instructions. And I did not know how to do appliques. I had never done an applique before. I just got the design because it was cute, and did not know what I was buying. I didn't even know it was an applique. I'm pretty sure when I bought it, I just thought it was cute. And I got that thing, and I had no idea what to do because it had no instructions. So, needless to say, I never stitched it out, and it caused me to develop a little phobia of appliques because I didn't think I could do it because I didn't know what to do, and I just did not know what to do, and I didn't buy anything else that had, that was an applique. And even if I did, I don't think I understood what, the positioning line was and the tack down stitch and all. I didn't understand the concept of that because this was at the very beginning of me uh, beginning to embroider. And, it's so much to learn. And that was just one thing that was on my plate that I didn't understand. And so once I took the class with Eve at the Baby's Booty, and she explained all these things, then it became easy for me to understand. And now I do appliques without any fear. However, as I was mentioning, I've not done all of these appliques per se. Um, in some shape or form, I think I probably have done most of them, to be honest about it. It's just that you don't think about the how it's named or the fact that it is a different technique. But I would like the felt. I'm not done. I'm not done the beautiful felt work. And that's what I was mentioning that I really thought was really pretty and unique. And I want to kind of get into that. And I know some people deal with felt all the time. I got plenty of felt, but I don't deal with it a lot. So choose quality designs. Now it says to pre-wash your fabric. Now I have not ever pre-washed my fabric. But it says always wash or dry both the applique fabric and the base fabric before starting. Who does that? Does anybody actually do that? I know they recommend that with quilting as well, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. And I understand the why. I understand the concept, to because of shrinkage, and you want to make sure that your project does not shrink after you've completed it and then distort your stitches and stuff. I understand the concept. I just haven't done it, and I don't know if I will. And especially if I'm doing something that I'm planning on selling or giving away, I'm not going to wash it before. I want it to be given away as brand new. Number three, use the right stabilizer. Select the appropriate stabilizer for your fabric and design to prevent puckering and ensuring a smooth finish. And that is always given with any type of project. You always have to make sure you do that. Make sure you do number four, proper hooping. Ensure your fabric is hooped tightly and evenly to avoid shifting during stitching. Number five, very important, trim carefully. Trim the excess fabric as close to the tack down stitches as possible without cutting the stitches. And that is a skill. It takes practice and it takes a good pair of scissors. Now, once you get that mastered, then you will have all the confidence that you need in doing um, appliques. Now, many of us, or several of us, I put it that way, have some type of cutting machine be it a cricket, a silhouette of some kind, a Romeo, Juliet, a scan and cut, all of the different cutting machines that are out there that you can send your file to and have it cut out prior to stitching. Now, I've only done that once with my Cricut, and I sent it from Embroidery to my Cricut and had it cut out. And I was semi-successful. Uh, all of the letters except for my A cut out perfectly. And I remember seeing a video not too long ago, and I don't remember what video it was, but there's some special settings that you have to make sure that you do when you have the little inset that need to be cut, like your A's and your B's and what have you, to make sure that part cuts out correctly as well. Because if you don't, then it can be off a little bit, and that's what happened to mine when I cut out this project that I had. It was my diva shirt, and my D and my I and my V was fine, but the A was kind of off. Although I was able to salvage it because it wasn't off that bad, but it was definitely off. It wasn't perfect. Um, and with that being said, I didn't have any confidence in using a cutting machine for my um, cutting out my appliques. Now that I know that you have to use a correct setting, I need to learn how to do that, or know what the setting is. So when I do that, cut it out again, I'll make sure that all the letters, all the shapes, or whatever that I'm going to cut will cut out perfectly. Now, is that going to save me time? I'm not sure because I've gotten pretty good with cutting out appliques. And so I don't know if it's going to save me time. It may save time or not. What do you guys think? How many of you actually use a cutting machine to cut out your appliques prior to stitching them? Is that something that you do routinely or not? And Val, you said you used to pre-wash, but you don't do it for anything that you sell. Yeah. And I wouldn't, but I'm too impromptu to to do pre-wash because I'll come in and make up my mind I want to do this, that, the other, and I don't want to take the time to have to wash it and dry it and all of that. I've been lost my, I want to go on and move to something else. So I have not washed anything. And Robin, you said you don't. You just throw color catcher in the water with anything that might run. There you go. Because I forgot to mention that, so I'm glad you brought that up. Oftentimes, you do have to make sure that your colors are not going to run, and that's another reason why they say to pre-wash just in case. And if that's the case, then you probably have to pre-wash them separately just in case they're going to run. So, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But if you want to make sure that your project comes out well and stays nice, then I guess you need to do some of those things in advance. Okay. Trim carefully. The next is use temporary adhesive. Use a temporary spray adhesive to hold the applique fabric in place before stitching. I don't always do that either. I use a stiletto or my purple thing and just kind of hold it in place. I don't routinely do um, adhesive spray. I'm not discouraging anybody from doing it because I do think it's a good idea. And in the beginning, when I was really learning how to do appliques, I did. But now that I've gotten a little beside myself, I don't routinely do that. I, it, it, it has to be really small or something like that. And I want to make sure it doesn't shift. Um, Number 7, experiment with fabrics. Try different fabrics like cotton, denim, or even glitter heat transfer vinyl for unique effects. Now, I've done all of that. Um, yeah, I don't know if I've done denim yet as far as appliques are concerned. But I've done the heat transfer vinyl, and I, of course, done cotton. Mm, yeah. And number 8, practice satin stitching. Master the satin stitch for a clean and professional finish around the edges of your applique. Um, if you cut them out correctly and it's been digitized correctly, then I would think as long as your tension and all of that stuff is fine on your machine, your satin stitches should be fine. Number 9, digitize your designs. Learn to use digitizing software to create custom applique designs. Now, if you have time to learn how to digitize, I think that's an absolutely wonderful thing to do. I think it is something that we all need to know something about. But as far as everybody learning how to digitize, I don't promote that because a lot of us either can't, won't, or don't care to, don't have the time. And number 10, watch tutorials. Follow video tutorials and online classes to learn new techniques and get inspired. And I do want to encourage that because, like I mentioned, as I was doing the research for tonight, I did run across numerous tutorials on practically every technique that I mentioned. And so they're out there where you can learn how to do all of these different types of techniques as far as applique is concerned that can definitely enhance your creativity and give you some inspiration as far as doing some unique and beautiful designs. And I'm I for one by doing this research has motivated me to learn how to do some of the different applique techniques because I did not know that they were that easy in my reach as far as me being able to do them myself because I like I mentioned I have seen a lot of beautiful work done, especially when you go to these quilt shops where the people have their things up that they've done advertising the fabrics and what have you. And you look at that and they say, oh my goodness, that is gorgeous. And wonder how can you do it or can you do it or how is it done and everything. So to be able to actually take a course or something and learn how to do it yourself would be so rewarding, at least for me anyway, to enhance my skills and learn how to do some different things, which I think would be really, really great. And Pearl, how you doing, Pearl? Thank you for stopping by. You said you were told that if you buy quality fabric from a quilt shop, you don't necessarily have to wash it. Uh, that sounds, I'll buy that. That sounds like something that I want to embrace because I don't want to wash it. I really don't. And I know when I did the quilt for the sew along, and I bought it from the Fair Quarter shop, and it was designer quilt, not the most expensive quilting fabric, but it was nice quilting fabric. And they did not recommend that it be pre-washed. So that was pretty good because, you know, I didn't start off doing that. And when I first started embroidering, period, not, not one tutorial that I watched promoted washing your fabrics ahead of time. Now, I did eventually see some tutorials and videos and what have you where people were saying they were washing their garments and doing this, that, and the other, but it wasn't something that I saw routinely. So naturally, I did not get into the habit of doing that. So I have not done it. And, not to say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but this is one trick that I'm not wanting to learn at this point, not unless I have to. Let I run across a situation where I feel is advantageous. But right now, I don't wash anything before I do it. Now, I also looked at what specific tools and accessories are important for your applique work to improve upon your applique work. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, some very good sharp pointed applique scissors. Now, there are many types of applique scissors. One of the ones that I have yet to be able to master and use correctly are the duckbill. I have at least 4 pair. I'm pretty sure I have three, at least I know I have three. I think I have at least 4 pair of duckbill uh, scissors, and I've not been able to be successful in using any of them. So they're put away in a box. I don't use them, but they are useful and they are good. So those of you that are right-handed, go right ahead and use your duckbill because they are good. They do make good scissors, and the concept of them I understand and they do work. But for me, I have to do it backwards. That is not working for me. And the left-handed one, for some reason, I've yet to been able to cut with them. So for a left-handed person, I've not been able to be successful in duckbill applique scissors. However, I have the curved ones and I have the small pointed one. I have several of those. And I have the curve, the double curve and the curve, the applique scissors that you use when you go up under, like when you're trying to cut while it's still on your machine. Let me see if I can reach it. Are both of mine in here? Just one. Okay. This is what they call a curve applique scissor. And it has one curve and it works well while your applique is on your machine and you can get up under there and you can cut. This one is called the double curve. And this is my favorite one. I use this quite a bit and it cuts really good. This is, who is this? Thread Nanny, German stainless steel. And this one is, I don't know what this one is. This one doesn't have a name on it. Maybe that's why the other one is my favorite one. Because I don't know which one this is. And this one is not as sharp as this one. This one is really good. The other ones that I use is, it must be up here too. This little one here. I love these. The point is very sharp, very pointed rather, and it's nice and sharp. I can kind of poke a hole where I need to go and get in there and cut. Now, interesting enough, I got these free in a package of stabilizers years ago. Do not know from which company, but I wish I did so I can make sure to buy them again. But I love these scissors. And like I said, I got these free. I didn't pay a lot of money for them. Those are the ones that I use all the time. Those ones. Now, of course, I have other applique scissors. I have a whole, I'm kind of like Jeanette. Jeanette has hers on her thing. I have a box. I have a whole box full of scissors and rotary cutter. But those that I showed you are the ones that I use every day, all day, whenever I'm doing any kind of applique. And I even had somebody mention your Tula Pink Duck Bill scissors. I don't know what, I don't have that, but I have a little bitty, teeny weeny little scissor that cost me like almost $18. Little snip snip thing. I thought that was. I ordered that thing. They said it was the best thing since sliced bread, and I ordered it. And it was so tiny, I couldn't believe it. I had to laugh at myself. I said, I could not believe I spent the money on that, and I don't use them. And I have them put away in my little box so I don't lose them. Now I did have another pair of scissors that I bought, and I paid good money for those scissors. I was lucky though; I got them on sale at Joann. I don't remember the brand. I have some Fiskars, those with the little yellow handle. Um, they're okay. When I bought them out of Walmart, when Angela Jasmina was recommending them, they were like $8, $7.99, $7.49, something like that. Do you know them things cost? If you get them out of Walmart, they're 12. If you get them out of Joann, they're 19. Say, oh my goodness, excuse me, same scissors? You got to be kidding. Anyway, I don't even use them. They're okay. They're not my favorite. They work, but they're not my favorite scissors. They're backups in case I need them. I have another pair of scissors, and I don't remember where I got those from either. But it seems like the ones that I don't buy are my favorite scissors. My favorite scissors, except for my curved ones. I did buy these. I bought these, and I use these, and if they ever get dull and I can't get them sharpened, I would definitely be buying more. I probably will buy another pair of these if I can't get them sharpened because I like this as well, but I can tell that these are getting a little dull. So I, but these are really good. I love these scissors as far as cutting applique, and these I love if I want to get super duper close or if I need to kind of like poke a little hole to get the little circle part out of the O or the A or whatever that part where you got to get up in there and get all up in there and clean it out. These work wonders for that. So I love those scissors. And like I said, they stay on my cart in my little tray. I have all of my essentials that I use all the time in a little tray like this on my cart so I can always reach and get it. And that's where I keep the stuff that I use all the time. My duck bill scissors are in my scissor box somewhere else that I don't use. But you got to have some good scissors. That's a must. Fusible web. This double-sided adhesive helps secure your applique pieces in place before stitching. It prevents shifting and makes the process easier. I don't use it. Applique pressing sheet, which is a non-stick pressing sheet to protect your iron and ironing board from adhesive residue while allowing you to press your applique pieces securely. Um, I do use a Teflon sheet. Temporary adhesive spray, we mentioned that. I use it sometimes. Stiletto and pressing tool. I do have a pressing tool that's on my ironing board. I won't bring that out. But I use my purple thing for my stiletto. I got a bag of these from Amazon. I think I got like 12 of them. Don't know how much I paid for. Maybe $8 or $9. I don't know, but I have a whole bag of them that I bought, and I keep at least two or three of them in my little tray. And this is my stiletto, my push out my corners and all that stuff. This is my purple thing, and I use this purple, and that's the name of it, Purple Thing, Thang, Purple Thing. This is what I use. So get you a purple thing if you don't have one. They're inexpensive and they work well, and you don't have to worry about a metal stiletto, which I think I have one of those as well that came with a set, but it must be in my other box. It's not in this tray. So I don't have it. But that works as a stiletto perfectly. Of course, rotary cutters. You got to have several rotary cutters. I now have uh, the little one. What is this little one size? What is this size? This little one. What size is the little one? I think it's a 28. I don't know what it is. Size is not on here. But whatever the little one is, I got the little one. I have the 45 millimeter, and it's 28. Okay, great. That's what I thought. 28 millimeter. I have the 45 millimeter, and I have the finally have the 60 millimeter, and then I have several different kinds of rotary cutters. I got a zillion of these things too. I love this one. Is my 45-inch one. I'm trying to see what the brand is. Oh, this is a Famore. Famore. I like this one. This is my Omni Grid. I really like this one. And my 60-inch, I have it back further, can't reach it. I think that's an Omni Grid as well. I'm not sure. And those are the ones that I use all the time. But then I have tons of other ones. And I even have the pink and sheer ones as well. I have those too. So I have tons of rotary cutters. Marking pens, water soluble or air erasable marking pens are essential for tracing your applique designs onto fabric. And I use mostly the heat press ones, which I love. Um, I love those. Just barely touch it with heat and they disappear. I like that better than the regular water and air, because the air disappear with air. A lot of times before you're done, it's gone. And the water ones, of course, you have to wet. But the heat ones, like I said, you barely touch it. So it doesn't, even if you got some delicate fabric, you can still use it because you don't have to apply that much heat to it. Um, Applique needles, fine, sharp needles are ideal for hand applique, allowing you to make small, precise stitches. I don't do hand appliques, but my 7511 has worked just fine for my appliques on my machine. Perfect circles. These templates help you create perfectly round applique shapes, which can be challenging to achieve by hand. I don't have that. I might need one, but you can use a cup. You can use anything that's round to make a perfect circle. Now, if this, you can use, what do you call it? Not the protractor, the what is the thing? The circumference thing with the pencil from high school. Remember those? And basting spray. Now, basting spray helps temporarily adhere your applique pieces to the base fabric, making it easier to stitch them in place. What is the difference between basting spray and temporary adhesive spray? Can somebody tell me that? I have basting spray. Now this says quilt. Quilt. Can't see it. Can you see it? I don't think you can. Cannot. Yeah, there you go. quilt. Barely can you see. Anyway, quilt basting spray. That's what this is. Quilt basting spray. That's a little better. I have this June Taylor. Works for basting quilt layers like are embroidery, multi-use fabric adhesive, um, won't gum won't gum needles. Now I don't know if this is any better than your 505, which I also use. Um, Temporary adhesive, no stain, acid free. I use this one the most. This one I've only used when I did the quilting. I don't know if there's a difference. Is there a difference? Does anyone know? I don't know. But these are the tools that they recommend that you use when you're doing applique. And I have most of them, and um, I have used a version of most of these. The double-sided adhesive webbing I've not used. Um, that's about it. And the circle thing, I haven't used that. Those are the things that I have not used. Other than that, I've used everything with my applique. So, what are some of the challenges of applique? Well, once you have figured out how to do an applique, you have to worry about the other challenges. You just need to know what the basics are of appliques. And as I've mentioned at least twice so far, maybe three times, you got to have your positional stitch. You need to have your tack down stitch. And then you need to have your decorative stitch, whichever one you're going to do, whether it's smooth edges, your satins, your zigzag, your bean stitch, whatever it is. Those are the three components of an applique. And of course, you have to cut it out and cut close before you put your final edge on, stitching on. But what can happen? What are some of the common challenges? Um, because you got to make sure that you're using the right techniques. And the AI lists at least 10 challenges. Fraying edges. And you can get fraying edges if you cut your fabric, and this is not on here, but what I've experienced, if you cut your fabric with dull scissors, you can have fraying edges. They're all jagged and frayed and get caught up in your satin stitch or whatever, and you don't have that neatness going around. So fraying can be a significant issue, especially with raw edge appliques. To prevent fraying, use a fusible web to secure the edges or choose fabrics that don't fray easily like felt or batik. Um, Again, I'm not using fusible web. Not sure if I know what that is. Uneven stitches. Achieving even stitches can be tricky. Practice makes perfect. So take your time and use a stabilizer to keep the fabric steady. Also consider using a walking foot to help feed the fabric evenly. Now, there was one thing that was not mentioned on the other list that I just mentioned as far as tools, and that is your heat and bond. Heat and bond light. Heat and bond light. Maybe that is the fusible web that they're talking about. I don't know. But heat and bond light really, 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 really works well with your fabric prior to doing your embroidery. So maybe that's what the fusible web is. I'm not sure. Anybody know? Let me know. But heat and bond light. Robin, that's a fusible web. Okay, great. They stumped me saying fusible web. They should have said Heat and Bond Light, but I know there are other brands, and that's why they probably didn't say that, being politically correct. But yes, Heat and Bond Light are some type of fusible web like that is something that you definitely should be using when you're preparing your fabric for applique. So I just wanted to make sure that that is clear with everybody because I wasn't quite getting the fusible web concept, but it dawned on me that I hadn't said anything about heat and bond light. That's really an important tool that you need to use if you want your applique to work. And I thought about it when I started thinking about frame because if you use your fusible web, usually you won't have the frame. At least I have found that to be the case with me. And so uneven stitches is what I was saying. Practice makes perfect. Take your time. Use a stabilizer to keep the fabric steady. Also consider a walking foot. I've never used a walking foot for my appliques, but I guess you can. Number three, shifting fabric. Fabric shifting during stitching can ruin your design, definitely. So use temporary spray or pins to hold the fabric in place. Uh, um, Plus proper hooping and tension adjustment can also help. Puckering is another problem. Puckering occurs when the fabric is not hooped tightly or the stabilizer is not suitable. Ensure your fabric is taut in the hoop and choose the right stabilizer for your fabric and design. Now, a trick to that, if you decide, if you're doing a project and you see that your your stabilizer is not holding up to what you need, you're getting a little puckering or something, you can add stabilizer underneath your hoop. You can spray adhesive it to the bottom. You can tape it to the bottom, or if you are careful, you can pin it. I don't recommend pinning, but the spray adhesive or your taping can help by adding another layer of stabilizer because obviously what you hooped isn't working, it isn't enough. So you need it to be more stable. So you need to add some stabilizer. So that's a little hint that you can do. Difficulty with intricate designs. Intricate designs can be challenging to cut and stitch accurately. Using sharp scissors or a rotary cutter for precise cutting, and consider using a light box to trace a design onto the fabric. I don't have a light box. I've not used one before. I do know people that have used them, so that's something that I would have to learn how to use. I've been lucky. I've not had any issues with intricate designs. As far as my appliques, I know there are challenges with intricate designs when you're trying to cut those puppies out. Trust me. Maybe that's when your cut machine comes into play. Thread breakage. Thread breakage can be frustrating. Ensure you are using the correct needle and thread for your fabric. Make sure you keep your machine clean and check for issues with tension and loose threads down in your throat, your needle throat, and your needle plate bobbin area. Make sure all of that stuff is cleaned out really, really well. And like you say, you got good needles in there. They're not old and dull or bent, and good thread. Good thread. Color bleeding. Some fabrics may bleed color when washed, as Robin had mentioned. Pre-wash your fabrics to prevent this issue and use color catcher in the wash. So that's one reason why people pre-wash. Again, I don't. That's up to you. Number 8, design placement. Getting the design placement right can be tricky. Use templates or marking tools to ensure accurate placement before stitching. Now, that's the whole purpose of your positioning stitch. Use a contrasting thread or a dark thread or something where you can see where you're placing your thread, your design. Also use a darker or contrasting thread for your tack down so you can see where you're supposed to cut. So, because nothing is more challenging and frustrating if you forget when you're setting, especially on a multi-needle machine, and you're setting up your colors, and your fabric is yellow, and all your threads you put up there are yellow, and you can't see nothing, especially where to cut. You can't see that cut line. It gets to be challenging to try to figure out, okay, am I cutting this thread? Or am I cutting it correctly? Am I too close? Am I close enough or whatever? So a contrasting thread is always recommended, a darker thread or a lighter thread, depending upon the color of your fabric, so you can see your positioning thread so you know where to put your fabric, and especially your cut, your tack down stitch so you know where to cut. um, Layering issues. When working with multiple layers, the fabric can become bulky. Trim excess fabric and use a thinner stabilizer to reduce bulk. SF 101 works really well. Maintaining consistency in your stitches and designs can be challenging. Practice regularly and take your time to ensure each stitch is even and precise. So those are some of the challenges of um, appliques. And the more um, advanced your applique technique is, I'm pretty sure the more important it is that you look out for layering issues and consistency in stitches and all of those kinds of things, because I can see where those things would become an issue, um, more so than just your straight on everyday applique that most of us do. And then Taisha, you say a light box is easy to use. I can imagine it is. I just don't have one, so I've never used it. I got to get one, I guess. I never knew that I needed one. I put it that way. So I guess that's why I never got one. And haven't figured out when I actually need one. But I can imagine that they can be very useful um, with your tracing. So I looked at different references, and I don't know how up to date this list is as far as resources, but I saw where there are a few online courses. Um, One is Innovative Appliques, and this course offers a streamlined applique method for beautiful results, focusing on time-saving techniques and precision in craftsmanship. It includes video tutorials, downloadable content, and access to a private community for discussions and it's called Innovative Applique by Becky Campbell on Creative Spark. And I can't remember if I looked it up to see how much it costs. I don't think I did. Uh, I don't think I did. But I know there are free tutorials, so I'm pretty sure this one has some cost to it. And it might have been high, and that's the reason why I don't remember what it cost, because I probably ignored it after I looked it up and saw what it cost. I'm trying to think. I saw a book that was expensive. That much I know. I saw a book that was $250 or something ridiculous like that, and I was like, "For a book? Are you kidding me?" Innovative applique course, American Quilter Society. Learn how to hand and machine applique. Um, I can't get any information from them because they want me to sign up, and I ain't trying to sign up right now. I'm just trying to find out what it costs. But it says sign up for our email and text messages list and save 10% off your next purchase. But they're the ones that have the um, the class. And it looks like they had their classes on YouTube. So, but this is old. This is from 2015, but I guess it doesn't matter if the techniques are the same. I guess it really wouldn't matter that much. But it's kind of interesting some of the stuff that I'm just glancing at right now. Interesting. So that was a course, and then another course was it's these are from Craftsy, 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 if you're a member, which I am. They have 20 fresh applique techniques. The course helps you master advanced fusible techniques through 4 charming projects. It includes on-demand video lessons and detailed instructions. So I'm going to look into that. And then it also has a machine finished hand applique. Okay. Learn how to achieve heirloom quality applique results. No. Learn how to achieve heirloom quality applique results using your sewing machine. This course covers various techniques and provides step-by-step guidance for creating stunning applique quilts. So those were the 3 courses that I saw. And then, of course, they had some books. And I don't know if one of these books is that $250 book or not. But one is Applique the Basics and Beyond, and by Janet Pittman, and another one is the Applique Book, Traditional Techniques, Modern Style by Casey York. And these things were recommended by the AI. If anybody is interested in it, uh, just Google is your friend. You can find all kinds of different types of tutorials, YouTube tutorials, books, things that you can get off of Amazon, everything that is going to help you um, be able to master and learn different applique techniques over and beyond the routine traditional appliques that most of us are familiar with. So, hopefully that's some information that is beneficial to you guys. If you've done it or you've not done it, um, who has popped in since last? My son next to you, LLC. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I think everybody else I have spoken to, and I'm going to just run through these pictures. No, let me get back on page 1 and run through these pictures of the different appliques right quick. I'm not going to go through it. Um, Pearl, you said you got most of your applique books off the thrift books for cheap, and I am a member of the thrift books. I get emails from that, so that's good to know. I need to look at that because you can get those books for $3 or $4, 5 or 6. Very inexpensive. Thank you, Pearl. So you got your smooth edge, you got your decorative stitches, and like I said, this one I think is zigzag. One is zigzag, one is bean or something. I don't know. Too hard to see. Um, then you got your raw edges, like I said, with the unicorn, you can definitely see the raw edge really well. Reverse applique, where you put the fabric underneath and then you cut it out. You can use different type of stitches, decorative stitches, all of that, which makes you combine your different techniques. And then the felt, which I love, which is something that I really want to learn how to do, is work with felt. I've not worked with felt on appliques at all. I've done very little embroidering with felt, to be honest about it. But I have to tell you, I do use felt occasionally when I'm doing samples for people, when I'm going to make something for them and I want to stitch it out to see how well it's going to stitch and show it to them. And I use felt, and that stitches out really well. So I do felt or either stabilizer. So that's my experience with using felt. And this is your 3D applique, and I just love that line. I know my son would just love to have something like that. I ain't doing that. That's a lot of work, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I would love to have it. And this is your puppy. And I think that was the last one, which we talked about trampunto uh, applique, and then of course puffy applique. This is done with 3D puff, but you can also do, of course, do tramputo applique with batting. So those are the pictures that I had, just showing you a sample of what some of these different types of appliques look like. So again, for me, I have either done them or seen them. The reverse, I've done. Of course, decorative stitches, I've done. Smooth, I've done. Um, the puffies, I've done. I've done some tramputo, but not applique. Um, so yeah, I've done pretty much all of that. So, and I'm pretty sure most of us have. And if we have not, any of us, let's think about trying it and see how well we do, because it's a learning experience and it does increase your skills. And that's the thing that's most important, when you can grow, when your skills will grow. I know who I haven't spoken to. I know it was somebody besides my son. Hi, Leslie. I saw you pop in, and I got busy and I wasn't talk. I didn't stop to say hello, and so now I'm saying hello, Leslie, because I was like, somebody else popped in, and I don't remember who that was that I had not spoken to. So glad you could stop in. Thank you for doing so. I do appreciate it. And yes, Val had mentioned earlier about the thumbs up. That's very important, you guys. I need the thumbs up. And what subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Those things are very important. As I've always mentioned, it does help with the channel. And what I also am asking you all to do to help me out, this is critical. It's very important. I need comments. I need comments. Comments are very important, because what comments does for the YouTube algorithm is prove that people are actually watching, that you're human, that you're not just playing it. You are actually watching it. So if you put a comment in there, then they know, okay, a human being is actually watching it. So put a comment in there and do whatever you got to do. But put a comment in. But that was not the most important thing I was going to ask you for. What I'm going to ask you for are ideas. I need ideas. I really do. I struggled this week because I had a brain fart. I could not think for the life of me what topic to bring to you guys this evening, because I like to bring stuff that's interesting and fresh, and that gets to be difficult when I've been doing this for a year now, a little better than a year, about a year and a half now, to be honest about it. And it gets more and more difficult to have something every week, because you're talking about what, 52 plus what, 18, whatever, however many more, 6 months a lot of weeks, a lot of weeks. And you got to come up with a new topic every week. That's not easy to do, to think of something. So you guys know what you might be interested in. You guys know what you've heard about and have questions about, you're wondering about, or have you heard this? All of those kinds of things. Those things are helpful to me because I will take it and run with it. I will do my research. I'll try to figure it out. If it's something that I can actually do, I'll do. But hi LP, how you doing? Hadn't talked to you in a minute. Using Mylar in embroidered designs. Okay, I've done it, but I can definitely get more information on that on Mylar. So I'm gonna write that down. Mylar, and I tell you, this is the right time of the year for it because Mylar um, is used quite a bit on when you're doing those freestanding lace ornaments for Christmas. When I the first time I ever used Mylar, that's what I did. I used it for free with my freestanding lace, making ornaments for Christmas. So that's something that can be done, and I got some Mylar. I can actually do a demo on it. You know, something that is quick and easy to do. I can do a demo on, which is what I'm planning on doing. I do have a couple of things coming up that I'm going to do a demo on that's quick. So that's in the pocket. That's in the pocket. And the jacket bag somebody had asked me about. She's not on here tonight, I don't think. And I'm trying to think. I think it's Marissa, but I'm not 100% sure it's Marissa. But I have looked and looked and looked. I've gone to several Goodwills and I cannot find a jean jacket that I wanted to do a demo on. But I have come up with an alternative that I'm going to do. So I don't have two cameras yet, but I have my laptop on a stand that's movable. So I can bring my laptop closer to my machine where you guys can see. So I am going to show you uh, a little bit of how to do a a jacket back. It's probably going to maybe be a hoodie, zip open hoodie or something like that, because I can't find a jean jacket, and I don't want to just go and spend a lot of money on a jean jacket that I hadn't planned to embroider on just for a demo because I have to tell you, uh, stuff happens. I put it that way. Sometimes it works out fine. Sometimes you have complications. I don't want to have a complication on an expensive jacket because I've had that before. Trust me. And you know you end up picking and picking and picking. And LP, you said birth cloth with borders. You know I have a tutorial on that. Now I have not. Now when you say borders, are you talking about embroidered borders, or are you talking about fancy little borders that you add? Because I got both. But I'm gonna write that down. Birth cloths with borders. Did fabric. You didn't come on LP. I did fabric about 2, 3 weeks ago. So I'm not going to do fabric again. But what I do recommend is that you look at my video that I did. I want to say it was 3 weeks ago. And I did do exactly that. I talked about the different fabrics. So um, I can't do that one again right now because, like I said, I think I did that one about 3 weeks ago. When did I do that one? On the 13th. Nope, 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 nope. That's not it. On on the 6th. So it's been about 3 weeks ago. Embroidering on different types of fabrics. What are the challenges? I did that on August the 6th. So check that out. Oh, you want fabric borders on your birth cloth? Okay, I definitely have a video, a tutorial on that. I've not done it, but um, got it, got it. Fabric on birth cloth. Got it. Got it. Anybody else got anything besides LP? Come on, y'all. Help me out. Help me out. I got the mylar. I got the burp cloth with the fabric on it. I'm going to do a jacket back. Um, Carol should be back next week. This is going to be a quick and easy one, embroidering on socks. I didn't do it this week because she told me she wasn't going to be here this week, and she was the one that asked me about it. Um, so I wanted to not do it. I didn't want to do it, and she was going to be on. Get your thinking caps on. You're counting on me. I'm counting on you. Have you done heirloom blankets? Um, no, I haven't done. I haven't talked about heirloom blankets. I've done tons of them. When my grand great grandbaby was in the womb, I got mad crazy doing a whole bunch of baby clothes and stuff for her arrival. And I know if I didn't make 6 or 7 or more heirloom cloth, heirloom blankets rather, for her, I did all 12 circles. I've done 4 corners. I've done middle. I've done edge. I did the whole gamut. So I have done heirloom blankets. But I can certainly talk about blankets for babies and stuff like that, which is actually a pretty good current topic because believe it or not, I'm working on some projects, dog bandanas with embroidered names and leashes. Um, Good dog um, clothing. I'll put it that way because bandanas, leashes, collars, uh, the little jackets and different stuff. You say you're done. Well, thank you. You gave me quite a bit. So next, Danielle, embroidery ideas for the fall. Embroidery ideas for the fall. I didn't get the end. Um, Danielle, now I know that you don't come on here all the time because you be busy. I know that, but I did that one too. When did I do that one? See, that's why I'm running out of deals because Halloween and Thanksgiving. I did it for the fall and Halloween. That's what it was. I think um, I'm gonna bring it up. Tell you what date it is so you can go look at it. I got to do this one. That's the one I did on the 13th, Danielle. It is Fall is Coming, exploring unique embroidered designs for the fall season. and we talked about different places to go to get fall designs and ideas for fall and for Halloween. That was done on the 13th of August. So I'm not going to repeat that one. I will. Um, can you do some specific for the election day? Um, LP, can you do some specifically for Daniel said, well, daggone it. We'll talk tomorrow night, Daniel. Anyway, uh, I don't discuss politics, religion, and any of the uh, potentially controversial issues on my channels because I am neutral with everybody. I know I have people from all over. There are people that aren't even here in America. I have people that watch me from all over the United States. They come from every different background, political views, race, religion, gender, you name it is out there. So I don't want to promote my own personal views on the channel because I don't want anybody to get offended or feel some kind of way. That's just how it is. So I don't do that now. Um, Therefore, the answer to that question is well, the answer to that question is I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But we just gonna leave that one alone. We just gonna leave that alone because I mean that's just the way to run a business. You just have to be mindful of everybody, and everybody is entitled to their own personal beliefs and views and what have you. There's no judgment here, none whatsoever. I don't judge anybody about what their views are on anything because we are all entitled to them. Therefore, I don't want to be promoting mine. If that's understood by everybody, hopefully it is. Um, I'm not here to offend anybody at all, and I don't want to be offended. So let's let's put it that way. But if you were in my so long, that would be a totally different conversation up in here because it's small and it's not out there in the world in the public and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, but not on my public platform. I'm not going to do that. So um, we won't do that. But anything else? So Danielle, you missed out on that one, but that's okay. It's out. It's available, and I am going to talk about Christmas stuff coming up because it's time. Believe it or not, I don't want to do it just yet. I want to wait maybe after we go to the expo and come back because that way it'd be almost October, and I won't feel like I'm really jumping the gun. But and I didn't talk about Thanksgiving. We talked about the fall and we talked about uh, Halloween. So I could talk a little bit about some of the things that we can do for Thanksgiving, maybe on coming up soon. And with that being said, um, hopefully everybody that is planning on going to the Frederick's what is it? The original Sewing and Quilt Expo in Fredericksburg, Virginia. On the 20, I believe it starts the 26th of September of this month. Uh, if you haven't made your room reservation, you need to get on it. And if you haven't picked out a class, you might be missing out. And hopefully, we can get as many people to come. I'm hoping. The more the merrier. I'd be happy. The more the merrier. And we are going to play. Jeanette and I well, we talked about it a little bit when Jeanette was on my thing. And on here live that we're going to try to have our get together dinner that Friday night, like we did last year, which I believe is the 27th. I believe it is that Friday night. We're going to get together and go somewhere and eat and drink and laugh and talk and have a good time. And we would love to see you there. We would love to see you there. And can I do breast cancer awareness? Yes, I can do that. Thank you. That's a good idea. I can definitely do that one. Yes, that is a good idea. Thank you for that one, LP. As we can, there's a lot of stuff going on in the medical world. Believe it or not, I heard about them possibly coming up with a vaccine for Alzheimer pretty soon. That would be straight up wonderful. Alzheimer slash dementia. Don't know when that's going to happen, how soon, but they're very hopeful that there will be a vaccine eventually available to fight to stop people from developing Alzheimer and slow the progression of Alzheimer for those that already have it. Now that's down the line. Down the line. It's not coming out tomorrow. But I just heard about that. And good night, Jenny. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. So, in the world of medicine, they also have the new COVID vaccine out, and people are getting COVID. My husband had COVID. I think I told you guys about that 2, 3 weeks ago. He had COVID. So COVID is still alive and well. So make sure you guys stay up on your COVID shot. And also, it's time for um, your flu shot. This is the time of year to start getting your flu shot. So if you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, plan to get that. That's important as well as the season has begun. This is it's not fall yet, but I think fall starts the latter part of this month. And that's usually when people start getting their flu shots. So don't forget about that. Just wanted to have those public announcements since the cancer awareness thing came up, and it's always important to keep up with your health as much as possible, as best as possible. Those of you that weren't on last week, we did the bowl reveal. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. We are now working on our new project, which is upcycling old jeans. And we're all supposed to be making some type of jean purse. And that's fun. Oh my goodness, there's so many different tutorials out there on different ways of making jean purse out of pair of jeans. It's going to be interesting to see all of the different ones that hopefully we're able to make um, coming up. So we're going to work on that for 2, 3 weeks, I think we said. And then hopefully we'll be doing a reveal. So we'll be doing a reveal towards the end of the month, maybe just before we go to the expo. And then when we come back, we'll be doing whatever else that we decide to do. And by that time, we will be going into our 1 year anniversary for the Sew Along. Because, like I mentioned earlier, we started the Sew Along with the Christmas skirts back in October of last year. And so it will be a year coming up next month that we started the Sew Along. And we've done several different projects and we have learned a lot. And Ann, you say you love working with denim. Denim is fun. It really is fun, and it's not that difficult to work with. To be honest about it, I've worked with denim, and it is fun. What I have found looking at all these different videos is that people are very innovative with making these purses. Hey, Jeanette, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I was just mentioning you a few minutes ago about the expo coming up the latter part of this month, and that we're hoping to get together that Friday and have dinner with everybody that shows up like we did last year, so we can have fun again like we did last year. So hopefully. That will happen and we'll get more people coming than we had last year because I think we had at least 10 or 12 people. So hopefully we'll have at least that many, if not more, like we did. And Jeanette said, yes, we have to get together again. It was so much fun last year. And it was. We had a wonderful time. And hopefully we will be able to do the same thing. I was speaking to Joyce yesterday, I believe it was, and was telling her about how much fun that we had last year, and I'm hoping that her and Betty will still be able to come. I hope that's going to work out because I would love to meet them. They mentioned that they were coming, so hopefully that'll happen. And I don't know who else is planning on coming other than the people from the Soul Along. Several of them I know are coming. But if we can get more people that are in the vicinity, this is going to be in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's going to start, I believe, the 26th through the 28th of September of this month. And it is the original Sewing and Quilt Expo. You can Google that, go online, look at up what's available as far as class is concerned and accommodation and all of that. And this is the here it is, the original Sewing and Quilt Expert, Virginia, Fredericksburg, Virginia, September 26, 27, and 28. And this is the little booklet that came out, and it's got all the classes and what have you. All the sponsors are going to be there. You're going to have Husker Barney, Bernina, Viking, Foff, Juki, Genoma. These are sponsors. I don't know if all of them are going to be there, but these are sponsors. Baby Lock Brother, Unique, Grace, Elna, Sulky, Handy Quilter. These are all sponsors. Who all is going to be there? Keep in mind, all classroom machines are going to be on sale at special expo prices. So you'll be able to buy a machine um, if you're interested and save a lot of money. I'm pretty sure that they're going to have um, some good prices on the Luminaire. They may even have some good prices on the new um, Avenir. Don't know if the Avenir will actually be there to look at. I'm pretty sure Bernina will have their new 990 there because that's out and available. Don't know if the Baby Lock Radiance will be there or not, but those are the three brand new machines that are out. All Brand had a comparison video that they put out last week. You might want to look at it where they compared the Luminaire, the Radiance, and the Avenir. You might want to look at that if you're interested in upgrading or getting or whatever. Um, but if you go to the expo, you might get a chance to get your hands on one of those machines for a pretty doggone good price. So that in itself would be a good reason to come if you're interested. And Jeanette, you said you're taking embroidery classes, the embroidery classes that they're offering. Okay. Hopefully, hopefully they'll be offering um, hopefully they'll be offering some new information in the embrilliance that you can tell us about. Because I'm not taking any classes. I'm not taking any class. And Ann, you said maybe I could meet y'all there. Girl, come on. Wherever you are in Virginia, come on, meet us there. We would love to meet you. And Jeanette said, Miss Shirley, you need to keep me away from the machine. It's dangerous. You'll go home broke. I tell you what I will do. I will say, Jeanette, you know you ain't supposed to buy that machine. That's gonna be about the best I can do. I can't take your credit card away from you. I can't take your wallet. I could just remind you that you're not supposed to be doing that. Maybe I can tap you on your hand or something. I don't know. But I know the temptation. If that price is good, girl, I ain't gonna that price. I'm telling you, Jeanette, those luminaires are going to be cheap. Those luminaires are going to be cheap. Everyone needs to watch you. I might be the devil in your ear because I know you say you want a luminaire. And last year when I was there, they had the luminaire for 11,000. Now this year with the Avenir coming out, that luminaire gonna be less than 11,000. I'm almost certain of that. I am almost certain of that. And if that's the case, I ain't telling you that. and and you said, get it. You only live once. That's true. Now I don't know how long she gonna live when she come back home to her husband. If she gets it, I don't know. But and then here, Danielle, don't do it. Danielle, you got the cabinet the other year, so don't you say nothing. You love a good bark. You love a good barking. I and yeah, it's gonna sew like butter. The only thing I can tell you, Jeanette, if the luminaire is 9 or less, I'm going to be the devil in your ear. That's all I got to say. If it is 9 or less, I'm going to be the devil in your ear because that it will be worth it because that would be a doggone good price for a luminaire, a $25,000 machine down to 9 or less. That would be a good bargain. That's all I got to say. But if it's not, then I'll probably say, nah, girl, don't do it. But if they got it practically giving it away, I'm gonna tell you, go for it. I'm gonna be the devil in your ear. If you can't pay for it, don't get it. Well, that's true. That is true. If it's not in your budget, and I know Jeanette, you're retiring in a couple of years, so you got time to get it paid for. So you got time to get it paid for before you get out of it. You you're so addicted to the machine, aren't we all? Aren't we all? But as you were saying on your live, I believe it was just past Friday, about budgeting and not wasting money and getting what we need and stuff like that, and how we tend to not uh, spend our money wisely. If this is a machine that you really want, which you say you do, and we all know what it does, and the price is right, then as you're saying, it could be your retirement present. It really can. Because this is the right time to get it while you're still working. So by the time you retire, it's paid for. It's out the way. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's your bucket list. Check that off. Check that off. Bucket list. Um, you don't have to pay that college dorm fee and all that stuff anymore. So you might have a little exchange. Get the I'm gonna be the devil if the price is right. If the price is not right, then I'm gonna be the angel in your ear. But if that price is right, I'm gonna be that devil in your ear. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. So you just might as well get ready for it. Because if I know if I was working and I knew I could afford it, the puppy be coming home with me. I ain't got no questions about it, and I don't have nowhere to put it. And see, you got a new room that you gonna have room for it. And that I'm being bad already. Good night, Ann. But yeah, we see that's the kind of fun we have while we're there, and we just have fun, ladies. So anybody that is going to be around and they want to come on. We'd love to meet you, and fellowship, have a good time, a good laugh, and all of that. And LP, you said another idea. Have you ever done park on the porch pouches? They have lots of different ones. Um, I have not. My girlfriend has, so I do know they have nice designs in the pouches and stuff like that. So I have to talk to her about it. I've not done any of the Parker on the porch um, work, but I have to look into that because, like I said, my girlfriend has done it, and she I think she's done several of the Park on the porch stuff. I will look into that, and don't worry about grammar, child. It's called typos, and we all make it. I can figure it out. So anybody else with any ideas? That LP has gone. Um, she has done her job. She has done her job. She has come up with quite a few good ideas to stimulate my thought process. Because, like I said, I was having a hard time this week. I didn't do anything. I didn't put anything up until 10:30 last night. That's how long it took me to come up with something. And actually, I have to give Val credit. Val was the one that gave me this idea. Robin, I got your idea too. Um, it's in the work, but I was trying to figure out something that I could come up with at such a short period of time. And so that's what I chose. But if I reach out to you, and good night, LP. If I reach out to any of you guys asking for help, trust and believe me, I'm struggling. I am struggling. I'm trying to figure something out. And I was struggling last night. Well, this whole weekend I was trying my best. I was puzzling my brain. What can I talk about that I haven't talked about recently? That was the issue. What have I not talked about recently? Because I don't want to just repeat, and I want to talk about things that are of interest and that are useful and information that people can take and do something with. That's my goal. So when you give me ideas, and it doesn't have to be tonight on this platform, you certainly can leave a comment online and I will see it because I look at all my comments and I respond to my comments as much as possible. So if anything pops up and you think about it, just put it in a comment. I will get it. And it's 10:05, so it's time to say good night. and all of the sew along ladies. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Uh, be ready to stitch on your denim, your upcycle blue jeans, and make some kind of purse. I know I sent out some information. Hopefully, you got it with one or two tutorials that I saw that were interesting. And like I said, there's tons of them out there. Trying to make up your mind which one you want to do or which one you're able to do um, is the challenge. So, with that being said, I'm going to say good night to everybody. You guys take care. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe if you have not. And everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care and good night.